Hello, everybody.
Hello, Kalina. How are you doing?
I'm amazing. I'm so grateful because the name of my workshop is From Powerful Poets, because that's what I am, to a professional writer, because that's what I am as well.
I mean, this is for those in the world that don't know, this is not only a beyond efficient and very successful writer and creative. She jumps at the gun. I didn't even get to say nothing about her. You know what I'm saying? She just going. I love you, Kalina. I love you. It's hard. But anyway, world, this is Kalina Harrison, a ghetto belle from the west side of Atlanta, Adamville, in the building, and she is also our first hood recipient, which is a scholarship I create to give people who might need a little help or not even need a little help. They deserve it. We want to see them prosper. And she was the very first one. Hood stands for Hope Overcoming Obvious Destruction. And she's made us so proud. She's a graduate of Claflin University out of South Carolina. She is a member of DST, Delta Sigma Theta. She has worked on many projects, including American Idol, worked with Signal 23, worked for the Weather Channel, and many other entities. She is a world traveler. You can catch her anywhere from Cuba to the Philippines doing her thing, and I'm so proud of her. She writes for all occasions, all entities, all events, all opportunities. I present to you, ladies and gentlemen, Kalina Harrison. Hey, Kalina.
Hello, everybody. Look, you're right. I couldn't wait to start. You are right. You are right. I am so excited. And so a little bit about me, I'm going to share my screen. Can you guys see my screen? Can YouTube see my screen?
Hold on, I'm looking.
Okay.
It's just not catching up. I don't think that yep, it shows it. It shows it. You good.
Wonderful. Okay, wonderful. So here's the deal, you guys. As Tamiko said, she made it sound so glorious, and that's awesome, but it definitely was not glorious. It wasn't always glorious. And so while I was a powerful poet, I actually lost my drive to want to continue to do spoken word full time. I watched Tamiko do it. I remember when she had gone to South Africa, and I said, I want to do things like that. But I'm a firm believer, if you're not passionate about something, don't do it, because you don't want to shortchange it. So then I said, well, I've acquired the skill to do professional writing while I was in college. Let me give that a try. But I still had this creative mind going. So I was able to marry the two. So like I said before, this workshop is called From Powerful Poet to Professional Writer, How Creative Content Creates Capital. And that's the thing we're going to talk about too. We're going to go from a lot of the creative jargon to some corporate jargon, okay? So instead of saying my work, we'll say your content. Here. Disclaimer. So while I was watching Ed's live, I was like, you know what? Let me give these people a disclaimer. Do not quit your job because you are an excellent writer and think that you're going to make $35,000 in a day or a month, and then you barely make $350 if $35, and you aren't able to maintain the lifestyle that you have. And so we don't want you to do that. This is the foundation to starting a professional writing career, but using your creative chops, all right? So do not quit your job. If you do want to do that, you need a plan. But to work the plan, you have to be consistent, and you also have to track your progress. I've been a full-time entrepreneur now for 3 years. That was since 2017. But when I tried this out in 2016, I completely flopped because I had no plan in place and I was not prepared, okay? All right, so the first things first is your mindset. Your mindset is going to drive your millions, or it's going to drive you to the soup kitchen. Either one. You really have so much control in your mind. I don't know who created this starving artist mindset, but it should be abolished ASAP. Okay, because we don't believe in being a starving artist. Because if you have that mindset now, when you're commissioned or contracted to do work, you're going to focus on being a starving artist. You're going to allow yourself to accept the crumbs because you don't know that you deserve to be a fruitful artist who creates fruitful content for other companies, right? So you may say, well, I don't know how I can even start writing professionally. Who would contract me? Well, what do you master now? For instance, I know when I was writing, I did a lot of political work. I was this militant girl, like she said in Atlanta, like, you know, Black Panther this, Black Panther that, all of this stuff. And that's great. But what is the niche for that? Okay. Will a museum hire you? Would they contract you out? I'm sure they would. They need blogging content. They need copy. They need content for their website. You already have your foot in the door creatively for that with your poetry. Why not transcend that for a professional realm as well? So you want to use your expertise to offer content creation for companies that thrive off of that genre. I don't know where you are, but if you're in Atlanta, we have museums galore. Okay, the Apex being my favorite. Okay, even the MLK House, even MLK Center. So there's so many different outlets, and that can also be used as your resume. So don't forget, your resume doesn't have to be a long sheet of paper that looks so what would you say, traditional. You can have a creative reel as your portfolio. All right, so like I said before, the name is in what you call yourself. Instead of saying you have gigs, you have contracts. Instead of saying you are a freelancer, you're an independent contractor who should have a 1099. Because one time I was talking to a client and I said, I'm a freelance writer. He said, oh, so you work for free? No, I do not. He said, oh, I'm contracting you for this, and this is the independent contract. And I said, okay, that taught me a great lesson because it's all in what you call yourself. You can use Fiverr, you can use Upwork, you can use social media. Most of my clients come from Instagram and Facebook. I have clients from London because they found me on Instagram. One lady has been following me since 2017, and she just hired me 2 weeks ago. Well, about 3 weeks ago, early April. And she's like, yeah, I'm in the UK. And I'm like, what? Social media. So the sky is definitely the limit. Let people know what you do. Don't sell them dreams. If you know that you do not know how to write copy in the format that it's supposed to be written in, then learn how to do that before selling that. If you know that you don't know the format for a blog, do not say that you can do that. You should study that first, practice it, and then offer it as a service. Okay, so just some ideas of professional writing content that I do are writing social media captions, writing blogs, excuse me, ghostwriting. So I've written 5 books now that do not have my name on it. So 5 people are out here with whole Kalina Creative Scribes manuscripts, and my name is nowhere on it. But guess what? I got paid up front, so it doesn't even matter. Their royalties are theirs, and my check was mine. So it's great. Tutoring on public speaking and English language arts, writing content for websites, extracurricular programs for writing, and also book reviews. Now, I do love reading books, but I'm not going to read your book for free. I'm going to tell you that right now. If I don't have a interest in it, I may buy it to support it, but if you need a book review for it, you got to run that. You got to run it. And that's the thing. Do not be afraid to tell someone when they have to run you your check. Because guess what? If you were working for a company, they would not be afraid to tell you to do something that is not on the job description. That mandatory OT they want you to do, that wasn't a job description. Handle this, handle that. That was not in the job description. But we won't say anything because we want to keep our job. Keep that same energy for yourself. They didn't ask you to do, that wasn't the contract for you to read their book. You may have edited their book, but they want you to read it and give a review. That's a little bit extra. Don't be afraid to that. It took me a long time, lots of Georgia Me consultations, which she will be having free game plug. But it took me a long time to learn that I don't have to do things that I don't want to do without a fee. And that's just how it is. And also, it took me a long time to learn what not to offer. So one time I had a contract to edit a book and as well as ghostwrite the book. The ghostwriting, the client loved it. They were like, you know, it's so creative, X, Y, and Z. It really matches my points. It really, you know, reflects the outline that I had. Then as I continued to do the meticulous and the tedious grammatical corrections, I fell so short. So that caused the whole entire contract to be nulled. And it taught me I'm never offering grammatical editing again. Now I've shifted to content coaching to replace that service. So don't be afraid to let go of something that you're not great at, because that person that worked with me for 4 to 5 years, they won't work with me again because of that one incident. And that's fine, because it was a learning experience. Because guess what? I gave my best, but that wasn't my best. My best did not equal excellence for that. So instead of saying I quit everything, I moved on and say, what else are you a superstar in, Kalina? And then in my contract, I said, excuse me, I said, I'm a superstar at helping people create or expound upon creative ideas. That's what I'm going to do. And guess what? I have a client meeting right after this one, so it works out perfectly. Also, extracurricular programs. In 2014, I was still living in Atlanta, and I was able to teach students how to create videos, movies, things like that. And I said, you know, I would love to do this for creative writing. 6 years later, I moved here and I'm able to do that. But I had to create a curriculum. So start outlining the things that you want to do. Start soliciting contracts to the schools, to the Boys and Girls Clubs, to the YMCAs. There's so many different outlets for you to use. Do not limit yourself, expand yourself. All right, contracts, NDAs, CRMs. People, we're doing a professional writing company. This is not in your phone. This is not on your Google Docs. This is not on your Word. This is not having a verbal agreement. There should be a written contract, a paper trail, a non-disclosure agreement, and a customer relationship management for every single project. First of all, a contract is necessary, period. I've actually had one of my clients ask for a refund, and I pointed out to the contract, no, these were the terms of condition, so I'm unable to do so. I'm not happy that you're not pleased. However, per our conversation and per our edits and per the conversation upon starting the project, these are the terms. You have to protect yourself because no one else will. All right. A non-disclosure agreement, that sets you above the bar, because many people will say, well, how do I know that you won't steal my ideas? How do I know that you will not run off and share this with someone else and I won't see it on Coca-Cola or another, excuse me, another higher outlet? What you'll say is, here's the NDA. That way they can sue you if they ever see anything out that's not supposed to be out. All right. A customer relationship manager, basically it's a website that houses all of your client data, all of your client projects, sends emails for you automatically, gets the invoices sent automatically. Oh, if you love getting paid, type a $ inside the comments. If you don't love getting paid, you might not want to type a $ because you don't like getting paid. But if you know you want to get paid, you might want to go ahead and just add that $. Dubsado allows my clients to pay an invoice at 3 o'clock in the morning. And then guess what? At 3:01 a.m., they get an email from me automatically without me having to correspond with them. It's called a workflow. Okay, because here's the thing, automation is what's going to drive your company. You don't have time to sit and go back and forth with people. I don't even like to be on my phone, honestly. Let's talk to Tamiko, of course. But, you know, if I don't have to be on my phone, I don't want to be on my phone. What I want to do is have a conversation with you about your content, your needs. I want to draft the invoice, send the email, and then everything after I send that email, after you pay that invoice, all of the follow-up correspondence, that's done by Dubsado. Dubsado is bae. Link is in there. Also, I know some people do it, but I don't. Do not accept payments from Cash App. Cash App is not your friend because it's not secure. If someone hacks your Cash App, which I know people who've had their Cash App hacked, what you gonna do? You can't even call anybody. I use PayPal and I use Gumroad. Gumroad is where I put my ebooks and where my courses will be, where this course will be, because if you need access to this again, you'll be able to find this on Gumroad. And Gumroad, it's free. They take out a small percentage when you get paid, but it's free to have your things there. And Square is a tool similar to PayPal that many of my colleagues use. So if you want to look into that, then you should. All right. How does poetry marry writing professional content? Any poem is a story. That's all it is. A story with a cadence. Okay. Storytelling is the way to hook customers to a company's ethos and their brand. Ethos is the spirit, the culture, and the things that make their brand unique. All right. Your gift is storytelling. Obviously, you already have a gift with words. Obviously, that's why you're here, I hope. But you can also use that to sell a story for your client. All you're doing is being commissioned out, similar to a painter. A painter who says, I like to write on this, but I like to paint this, but I can also paint this for you too. That's the same dynamic when you're writing. You're called a ghostwriter when you do that. So you should also have a formula and a strategy. Again, when you have a professional writing company, you don't want everything to be loose. You don't want things to be all over the place, because that's a recipe for destruction. And then you will want to quit because you did not properly set yourself up. You did not have a formula. You did not have a strategy or a workflow. You're going to hear the word workflow a lot. All right. Tell a story. Brand messaging, which is a key word, is about connecting to the hearts of your readers so that they will shop with you. What you want to do is hit those pain points. You know, when you go to the doctor and they pressure so many points, and when you hear that ouch, that's what you want your clients to do. You want to hit that ouch for your clients, all right? Don't limit yourself to poetry. Expand your talent beyond poetry. My writing formula is who is my client serving? Not who is Kalina serving? Not what does Kalina like? What does my client like? Because what does my client's audience like? Because that's who I'm working with and working for. What is their problem? What is their why? What drives them? Describe your system and solution, also known as your workflow. What is your unique selling proposition or point, or distinguished feats? What makes you different? One thing that makes me different is that I've been able to have a writing company. I don't even have a master's degree. And, you know, for those of you who don't know, I used to write master's papers. That was my bread and butter for years. I would write college papers for master's student. I've never been enrolled in a master's class in my life. All right. Also, what are the results? How can I personalize to the target audience? I have to affirm that the problem will be solved. I have to affirm that I am the person for the job. All right. I have to let my clients know let their clients know, after you hire them to do X, Y, and Z, this is what you will have. And sometimes it may not be an increase in sales. It may be a transformational thing. I'm writing something for a client right now. Their client will not get any money from what they're selling, but they will get a mind shift. All right, this is also the technical part of it as well. You want to be able to show your client that you have the tools, you have the software, you have the management, and you have the professional prowess to drive their company to meet their bottom line. Employ online resources to write for your clients. Keywords everywhere, which you can't see, but I'll put it in the chat. If anybody can type in keywords everywhere in the chat box, literally is right here. It's an SEO extension that's free, and it's run by Google, that allows you to type in a word and it tells you how well it ranks online. That's really important because, let's say for instance, I'm typing in lamps. All right. Say for instance, I sell purple neon colored lamps. If someone types in purple lamps or purple lights, I may come up. That's search engine optimization. When writing for your client, you can use high-ranking words to prove that you are an expert. Also, join Facebook support groups. Brand, build, and launch with Arsha Jones, I think her last name is. Her group has gotten me maybe over $1,000 in contracts just from answering questions, just from talking to people in the group. You want to employ and maximize these online digital networking mediums. Get into a Facebook group. Also, blog support group. You may want to do an affiliate group. You may want to feature on something. Whatever your niche is, you may want to be an affiliate, and you may say, how do I know? I don't know anybody in this. If you have a networking Facebook group, then you'll have access to that. And also, my first book, Written Visions Coming to Fruition, I found the designer and the printer via Brand Bill Lunch. So it works out. Sell yourself and sell your solutions. What you have to understand, and say it with me, literally say it with me. I am a solution. Everybody should say this right now on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I am a solution. I am a solution. Understand that, because there will be times when you don't feel like, feelings are fleeting, they're evil, but there will be times when you feel like you are not a solution because you have a bad day. Trust me, I go through it more often than not. But I know that my company is a solution because I have an unfiltered, authentic conversation with my clients to determine how I can support their consumers. Then I use my expertise to go to do a deep dive into their brains or their language or jargon via their social media or previous communication. So in other words, you're going to have to study. You need to study your clients' clients. You need to study your clients. You need to study the product or the service. You have to do a lot of research. But guess what? You can charge for that research. It's not like you're doing this and you won't get paid for it. You just include that in the fee. So for instance, if I want to charge $50 to write something, and I said, well, you know what, Kalina, it may only take $50 to sit down and write it for an hour, but then I got to spend at least another hour actually researching. I'm gonna go ahead and charge another $50 for that. So the client says, well, how much to write this 500-word blog or what have you? Oh, only $100. And then if you want to take some profit, only $150. Listen, you can do it. You deserve to do it. I go through that all the time. The rates have increased. Always do not be afraid to increase your rates. You deserve it. Because the time you take to do something is going to take time, and time is money. So also, Creative Scribes bridges the need with the demand and positions you as a distinguished brand amongst your competitors. One reason that my clients love working with me is that I'm able to leverage them amongst their competitors. I know what makes them sparkle and shine. Oh no. Okay, here we go. All right. Then I have my ebook. All right. Written Visions. No, this is not Written Visions. This is from motivation to activation. All right. I started writing this book because I was motivated to do a project, right? And the project would never get completed. And then I realized motivation is really just a lot of BS. It means nothing. If you're motivated to do something, you go to all these seminars, you watch all these classes, you invest in all these coaching courses or what have you, and you don't actually activate what you're doing, then you're losing. You're not doing anything. You're just staying in that inertia. All right. So this is your opportunity. I actually have the book, and I put the link inside of the YouTube chat. I have the book online, on sale right now for only $10. That's 50% of what it typically is. And it will teach you how to activate your success, how to activate your business. I give you 12 chapters, or I call them activators, as well as 12 success stories about people who really got it out the mud, people who continuously tried and remained steadfast on their goals, because nothing is going to come overnight. Nothing is going to come the next day. When you plant a seed, it doesn't matter how many times you water it, how many days you water it, how many days it gets sunshine. It may take years upon years for it to actually bloom into what you imagine it to bloom into. So I give you the tools on how to activate your success in the book, From Motivation to Activation, your 12-step guide to success. So that is about it for me, Tamika. Do you have any questions, or do we have any questions in the chat? My Instagram fam is blowing me up. Hey, hi, IG fam.
Yes, we got a couple of questions for you, Kalina. You are outstanding. I'm sitting here like your mama, which I am. So proud of my baby, and girl, I'm gonna have to watch this again. I should have just had you doing all this shit for me, but then I wouldn't know how to do it. You do so much for me, and I need to learn how to do it for myself, and you made it seem accessible. So I'm just so proud. You motivated me. I'm activating. You know what I'm saying? So Tahar97 says, does Kalina have any advice about how to start a nonprofit?
I don't have any advice about how to start a nonprofit. What I can tell you is if you volunteer with nonprofits that you like or nonprofits that are aligned with your mission or your purpose, then perhaps you can build your network that way. What you can start doing is writing your own mission. You can start your own volunteer projects. For instance, I work at the shelter here in Philadelphia, and once a month prior to COVID, I would do a writing workshop with the women in the shelter. And we've been able to do nutrition nights. We've been able to do paint nights and things of that sort. Also, a nonprofit that I work closely with is Teenagers in Charge, right? And I use that nonprofit to help drive my Write Your Way to the Bank youth entrepreneurship program. So you want to partner with other nonprofits that you like and that you trust and that you align and that aligns with your mission. And that's what I could say about that.
Okay. You so smart. And that's exactly what you okay. Unshare the screen. You threw it that right there. Okay. So I have another question. She says, what are some tips for building and expanding my social network?
Posting content, right? And I want you to look into something called Canva, Canva.com. That is a graphic design tool that allows you to create nice graphics. You can type something on there. A kindergartner can do it, but it makes your graphics look amazing. Also, comment on other people's posts. So say for instance, I love professional writing. I comment on other copywriters' posts so that their network is able to see me as well. Okay. Another way to expand your social media is hashtags. A lot of my clients find me from my hashtags. One of my great hashtags that's got me a lot of revenue is ghostwriting, blogging, copywriting, things like that. So you want to search the hashtags and follow me on Creative Scribes. That's Creative Scribes with a K. And go ahead and shoot me a DM. I'd be happy to talk to you. Also, promotions. I recently ran an ad. I didn't get too much from it, but I did get a few followers, so you never know.
Okay. What is the biggest job that you've had?
The biggest contract I've had, I'm sorry.
I was gonna say as far as money and work.
All right. So the biggest contract I've had is with a school here in Philadelphia. I wrote a curriculum of 12, it's more than 12 weeks, about 16-week curriculum. And it's a creative writing program for youth. And I went through the illiteracy rate in Philadelphia alone and how many students don't graduate even middle school or high school because they're dissuaded from reading because they don't have the tools. And then a lot of students have anxiety, things of that sort. They don't have a mental therapy channel, and creative writing we know serves that. So that was a contract. That was a really big contract. I think I made, it was well over at least $3,000. So, and that was just over a span of time, but just in that chunk of time. And then, but what I had to do is I had to create a seamless curriculum. And I had to have a contingency plan because they said, what happens? We know that you're the CEO, but what happens if you can't come? So I have people in place to help me run that as well. What will the students get? What are the objectives? We were able to do Zimbabwe pen pal experiences with one of my Claflin University classmates. So they get that cultural affair. So how are you going to maximize what you're offering? You can't just say, oh, I'm going to do this, is going to be great. It may not. And then what? You have to assure, and you have to have your ducks in a row that it will. You have to have that written out plan. As a matter of fact, once COVID is over, my supervisor wants me to come in and do a summer writing program. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I prepared for like 2 years, and I just got it.
That's what's up, Kalina. I'm so happy for you. And your attitude, I want to say, I feel is a part of your success too, because you're very positive about everything and always looking for the brighter side or the solution and not dwelling in the problem. That is something that I know about you. And I think, especially as a creative, you need that kind of outlook, you need that kind of spirit. I want you to plug all of your different entities right now.
So Instagram, that's my main. You'll catch me on there before you catch me anywhere else. It's Creative Scribes with the K, just Creative and Scribes. Facebook, Kalina Harrison. PayPal is, what is it? PayPal.me/Creative Scribes. Cash App. I don't use it for business, but donations, of course. PayPal is, Cash App is just the $ and Creative Scribes. And I have my book in the YouTube chat, and that is through Bitly. You'll get that automatically because of Dubsado.
I mean, you find everything, you know everything, Kalina. God, you know the workshop done went by so fast, and I mean, we asked all the questions. Is there anything else you want to lead the people with?
Something, you know what, Tamiko? Let's have a free game. Let's have a little free game session, Tamiko. Okay, so first of all, if you don't know, just like I started off earlier, and the reason why I had mine so structured is because I ramble. Okay, I will go off on a tangent. So I'd rather be under time than overtime and not meeting what I desired to meet. But I really want to talk about when things don't go well, when you get let down. Like, for instance, remember when I called you and the client wasn't happy with my work and we had to end the contract early? And I was like, I had to take the fall for that, but I really had tried my best, right? And I felt like a failure. And I was like, but I couldn't stop because I was so deep in the thick of it. You know, I was actually hosting an event that same day. I got fired. And that's the thing too. You can't get fired as being an entrepreneur. So don't think that you're impenetrable.
Yeah.
You know, don't. But
you know, I wanted to talk about that, but I didn't even want because I was like, you know, tell the people about how you overcome disappointment because you know you take everything so personal. You know, everything you do is your child, and I know that about you, and I love that because that's integrity. You care. You know what I'm saying? But even when you care and you put your all into it, you might not be chosen. You might be not what they want, what they need, and how you deal with that. And I, like Ed said, support. You need to have somebody, some source, somewhere. Like you said, it might even be a Facebook group where you go in. I find that is good for social media. I don't care if people don't even know somebody. If somebody come in a group and say they feel some kind of way, somebody is there to say, it's going to be all right. God got you. You can do this, or here's an opportunity. So you just need to have an outlet to vent that source of disappointment to, you know, that so that you can rise from it. And yeah, like you said, I mean, ain't nobody impenetrable. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's irreplaceable. You know, you ain't the end all be all, but that don't define you. That's what I always said. That do not define you. This one disappointment is not the totality of who you are. So that's just what it is, you know. So
well, one way that I got over that, or not over, one way I got through that is that I had to assess the situation. What could I have done better? What were the factors that led up to me losing that particular contract? And so one of the factors is that the text was too great in terms of big for me. I could not really handle it. And then two, I don't always do well with my own grammatical errors. I have someone else look over it. Okay. And then three, I didn't really charge enough so that I could outsource it, because maybe next time I can outsource to a person who does specialize in grammatical editing. Okay. Also, it's just not my forte. It's not my forte. And that's how you learn your forte. Thankfully, the client and I had worked on so many projects before that were excellent. They didn't ask for a refund. It wasn't a big thing. It didn't go out of way. But it was just like I had to find another company. And that person's book just came out recently, so I'm so happy for them. But it taught me And I put in my contracts, we will not discuss grammatical editing. The writer will not go through grammatical editing. The writer will specifically expound and help you to increase and enhance your creative ideas. It will ensure that your clients get your message that is seamless. It will ensure that you will not go off on a tangent. So you want to be as precise and specific as possible. And you have to heal. Like, this is not an end all be all. I took a day off. I went to the park. I probably took a trip that same month. Matter of fact, I did. I went to China that month. You know what I mean? In here. So, you know, you definitely want to give yourself grace, give yourself compassion. Like Tamika said, have a support system. I know I called Tamika. You know, I saw the people who I knew would pour into me and who will remind me of my purpose. And you should always have people like that around you. And I just told myself, Kalina, you got through something else before you can get through this. I took accountability for it.
Yeah.
And that also helped with it too, because it wasn't my ego. I can't get this. I did it. No, take accountability, move on.
Yeah. You got some comments. Once Upon Her Mind says #work. She says her book is amazing. Talk about it. And Queen Maya said, y'all are the truth. Thank you, Queen Maya. We appreciate all y'all in the chat giving us love and supporting us in these endeavors in education, enlightenment, and upliftment. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? Can I give a testimony to our story? Actually, this is how I met Tamiko. So actually, the way I met her on TV, because we got a few more minutes. All right, we got 1 minute, right? So the way I met Tamiko on TV, this guy was there in high school. He was this poet, this big time poet in high school. And he was like, you got to know Georgia Me. You know what I mean? I was like, who's that? So I was like, all right. So I started watching her. And I was like, dang, like, you know, she fought with it. All right, cool. So I'm learning my poems and I'm going around the city slamming, because at this point I had wanted to be a full-time spoken word artist. Like, that was my career track and my career endeavor. So I studied the greats just like Ed Mabry had said to do. So we were slamming in 2007 or 6, one of the two, at South DeKalb Mall, right, over on the east side. We're from the west side, so that was my first time at the east side mall. I had only been to West End and to Greenbrier, so they said I only been to 2 miles out of West End and Greenbrier Mall. And back in the day when I was in high school, you know, Magic Johnson Theater, that's a different story. Anyway, so we slamming, and so they didn't tell us who the judges were. I'm sitting back cooling, you know what I mean, talking to my friends, and I see Tamiko walk across. Y'all, I had a conniption. I was like, y'all know who that is? And I mean, I know I seem very polished and well, it's still loud, but a lot more polished and well here. But y'all, when I saw her walking across, I was like, there's Georgia Me. I yelled to her. And everybody looking at me, and I'm loud. Y'all know who that is? And because when I was slamming around the city of Atlanta, and when other people would judge, like Sonny Patterson, like Talam AC, like Abyss, like Tommy Bottoms, like Cocktails, they would say, yo, you just like Georgia Me. You love Georgia. You love G. I hadn't even met her yet. I didn't even know. I wasn't even trying to meet her, for real, for real. So anyway, I see her. She's going to be the judge. So my heart is beating. So now I'm like, I already used to bring it. But then I was like, oh, I'm bringing it. Like, I'm nailing. Like, I was like going hard in the paint. All right, cool. I get up. I stare at her the whole time I recite my poem. Like, literally, I'm like, if you do not let me win, meet me on Cushman Circle, because I know where you stay. I know where you stay. All right, cool. So I'm staring her down while I'm performing my poem. And then I knew I murked it. So I walked out the stage. Like, yeah, if you know me personally, you know that look I get when I kill something. Y'all know me. So I walked out the stage, cool, right? This boy in the wheelchair does his poem. Cool, great. This other girl, this is her second time there. She does her poem. Cool, great. I had to do their poem. So, you know, we get the judges. I'm still staring at Tamika like, I know you, you know me. I just called you out. Let's go. Y'all, I didn't get called. And even right now, my stomach kind of hurt. Like anytime you think about, anytime you don't get something, like your stomach hurts. You know what I mean? So I was crying. Remember?
Yes, I remember.
I was crying. You was flirting with somebody, but that's a different story. I got to, yeah, but seriously, though, I was crying. What she told me was, I'm going to mentor you. You're going to open up for me on third Fridays at Urban Grounds. That was over in the West End at the time.
Uh-huh.
So I end up winning. So basically, I say that to say, yeah, I may have lost the immediate thing that I wanted. I may have lost the, slam thing. I kept slamming anyway. But I won mentorship. That's invaluable. This has been like 15 years now. This has been a long time.
Yeah.
Okay. And with that, she really helped to be a catalyst for me to want to do entrepreneurship full time. Because I would see her writing out her calendar, like, y'all, hold on. Let me show y'all right here. What's this? Prayers and plans. You got to have a calendar. I would see Tamiko writing out her calendar, okay? I have my calendar out. You can't do anything without a calendar. If it's not written, it's not real, okay? And I would see her going to Soweto. I'm like, you can do all of that and you don't clock in nowhere? She was like, no, I'm not saying it's nothing wrong with, first of all, everybody has a job. Like I said, I've been fired, I've been hired. So it's a job, but it's just a job that I helm. So let me clarify that. So I was like, you really can do all of this? Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, bet. I already know what I'm going to do. It was written. All right. So that's how that worked. You have any gems on that story?
I mean, I just remember that day. I remember seeing you making me feel like a superstar. And, I remember us, the judges over there, going through the list. And I'm like, the boy was good, but he wasn't as good as the girl. Like, but he was in the wheelchair. And so everybody, it was me and God, I forget that dude's name, but you're right, I was flirting.
I remember.
Name. But me and him was like, I understand that he in the wheelchair, but the girl is better. And they was like, no, but the reaction he got. So when I seen you over there crying, I was like, nah, I can't leave her like this. No, I'm taking you under my wing. I am, gonna see about you, love on you, be there for you. And God allowed that. And then you've been such an amazing light in my life because I can't slack with you as my mentee. You the shit. You know what I'm saying? You be on it. And you teach me. You know what I'm saying? I really learn from you. So I am extremely grateful for our relationship, for you coming into my life. Anything and everything that I've done for you, it pales in comparison to what you've done for me. You make me so proud. You make me so happy. And you are always available to me. And you like that, period. You're just a good person, Kalina. And you make the West Side proud, period. You know what I'm saying? They don't think girls like you exist on the West Side. You know what I'm saying? They think they all ratchet, but you a jewel. In our chat, we got, she said, Queen Maya said, because, okay, Lennox wasn't even popping. No, it wasn't that it wasn't popping. We just didn't go out there. You stay on your side of town. You know what I'm saying? Lennox is a certain breed of people, and they all spend a lot of unnecessary money. And when you ain't got it, you from the hood, what you going out there for? To look po? That's what I see. I ain't walking out with no bags. This is mall culture to the world. This is what we do in Atlanta. You really doing it if you go to the Mall of Georgia, which is a whole nother situation. They opening up the malls, y'all, May 1st. Stay in that house. Stay in that house to anybody that sees us. Okay, well, Kalina, we finna get ready for the next session. And we're gonna start in about 15 minutes. Do you have anything else to say to the people?
Keep God first. Always know that God is the source and you are the resource. Okay. Amen. And always know that your purpose is well beyond the profit. Keep faith and it will work out, because sometimes you won't make $1, sometimes you make $1,000. You just never know.
That's real.
So, all right. Love y'all. Thank you so much. Get the book. It'll be emailed to you in 1 second after you buy it.
Get your book. I love you, Kalina.
Love you too. Talk to you later.
Okay, babe.
I'm about to leave the meeting.
All right. No. Oh, right here. We're about to end this meeting and start the next one in just a second. Give us a minute, but we'll be back with Michael Harriet, y'all.